I'm currently in Tuscany, Italy, on a little bit of a vacation. And that is a great moment to pitch my little pet project, Going Walkabout. Going Walkabout is a mobile travel diary. It keeps track of your pictures, the places where you have been, some weather, you can write some notes, and it creates a story that you can share with others, but you can also keep it private. It's really a perfect way to keep track of your travels. So I had to find a place in the shade. It's really hot, but here it's bearable. So about Going Walkabout. Going Walkabout is iOS only. So for all the Android lovers and Android users, sorry, but this is a pet project and I'm making it for iOS only. Now if you go to the app, and I'll project it over here, what you will see, you get presented with a list of trips. And of course, if you don't have any trips, you can create one, etc. Now these trips, there are trips that you're either following or you've created yourself. Now a future update, probably I'll implement something like collaboration so that you can work with multiple people on the same trip, but for now that's not the case. So if I zoom into the first one, this is the trip that I'm currently on. You see a little bit of a map. I can zoom into the map, and we started because we drove from the Netherlands to Italy. We stopped in Germany, went through, and eventually ended up here in Tuscany. So you can see where you've been, and it does not automatically track your location because automatic tracking is a little bit of privacy sensitive, and I think there should be things that you don't want to show up in the app. So I don't do automatic tracking. It's up to you if you track. Now if you go back to the trip list after the map, you see, you know, in reverse chronicle order, the things you have seen, you have done, where you have recorded on the trip, etc. And you can easily add a new post. Then it will search for the location, as you see now. You can even search for nearby locations. If you want, you can pick one. Now I don't do that at the moment. You can maneuver the tide. You can write a story here. A story. You can take pictures. You saw I took some pictures. Let's add some pictures. And the pictures are here. And one of the features is as well, you can also use the date of the picture. So for instance, you took a picture and you forgot to post it, you can still later do it, and it gets in the right order of the timeline. And the same you can do is use the location of the photo. And that means that, for instance, you were somewhere on the road, you took a lot of pictures, but you didn't record automatically everything in your trip because no time, or you forgot. Then later, back in your hotel or wherever you're staying, you can still add those pictures. Now, and of course, I can also delete the photo from the list. Default, the application is free, but it does limit the number of photos you can put in a post, and it also limits the number of posts per trip. But for short trips, still the free version is enough. You can always, if you want more, upgrade it. And when you upgrade the trip, you also get the option to get the weather. Now, as you can see, it's 29 degrees. It's actually saying that it's overcasted. I see 1-2 little clouds over there. For the rest, it's blue sky. So I don't know where the weather information comes from, or I know, but it's not very accurate. It often says more clouds than actually are in the sky at the moment. But it's nice to track also the weather, because how often does it happen that someone asks, you know, how was the weather on your trip? And now you have some proof to go back and do that. Now, if I would have saved this, it would have become part of my trip, and the trip would then be completed, etc. And of course, at the end of the trip, you can look and browse at it, and you can of course zoom into the pictures. You can decide this picture as the cover photo for your trip, and there's some small little things. And I'm constantly improving features. I actually am working on a version where you don't need to log in anymore to explore, because I also have an explore option where you can go and look at trips others created. There are not that many, but if you would go out and do some traveling and record your trip, you could end up here if you wanted. Because that's an important part to say. So let's go to the trip, because the trip also has some privacy settings. So whether you allow public sharing or not, this one is public sharing, so it will end up in that Explore view to do or not. But you can keep it completely private, nobody except you and the people that are following the trip can actually follow it. And here you can see you can add followers, and you can add new followers, for instance with a message, and then you select someone from your list, etc. To deal with that, and it will create a message, etc. with a link, and they can click the link. After they click the link, they get redirected either to the App Store or to the app, and from that on they can install the app and become a follower of your trip. It is a little bit complex. I am looking ways to improve that flow, to make it a little bit easier, and also to already invite people beforehand. So actually before you they don't need to go through the whole invitation process, so you can collect followers from previous trips and already add them to your next trip, and also make them collaborators so you can work together on your trip. Anyway, for me, it's something I like doing because it keeps my iOS skills working. It also is something I use myself a lot because I like to record the trips where I've been and how they were and what I've done, etc. So it's for me a tool that I use, and you can use it as well. So go and have a look it up in the App Store and download it and start experimenting. It's free, you can do quite a lot with the free version, so don't worry about that. Now, one thing that is important to know, the app does use in-app purchases, but that is only to upgrade your standard free trip to a premium trip. Let me show you here. I'll also post it up here. Here I have a trip from the past, and it's called a standard trip. You can see it. I can press that button, and then it will ask me, well, do you want to upgrade? A premium trip upgrades, it's more stories, better photo quality, unlimited waypoints. Waypoints I didn't really explain, but on the map you can still put waypoints without a story, without a photo or the weather, just a place where you have been, so you can create a little bit more accurate travel map if you want to do so. Weather location, and you support me, and that's also very helpful. And as you can see, it's $3.99. It might be a little bit different depending on the country where you are, but it is just a donation for me, but you don't have to do it. You can still use the free standard trip very well. I think you can go up to 20 posts for a trip and 4 photos per post or something, so you can still make a reasonable story. And you know, a tip, you can always create a second trip if you want to continue. But of course, you support me, upgrade it to a premium trip, and that is something that I absolutely appreciate. Now, that is all of it. Yeah, that's the most important part of it. That create a trip, go and use it, travel around, record your stories, and maybe share it with others, and keep continuing using Going Walkabout. I thank you for watching, and I might see you in another video again.